In the dead of night, beneath the dim, flickering lights of a forgotten alley, a scene of sheer terror was unfolding. Three shadowy figures cornered a man, their intentions clear and menacing. He, the man impeccably dressed in a suit that spoke of wealth and power, was none other than billionaire industrialist, Mr. Alistair Finch. He had taken a wrong turn, a simple mistake that was about to cost him dearly. His heart pounded against his ribs, a frantic drum in the silent alley. The glint of steel in the moonlight confirmed his worst fears. This wasn't just a robbery. His life was on the line. He raised his hands in surrender, his mind racing, searching for an escape that simply wasn't there. The walls of the grimy alley seemed to close in on him, the stench of decay filling his nostrils. Hope was a distant memory. Just as one of the assailants lunged forward, a sharp, whistling sound cut through the tense air, followed by a solid thwack. The man cried out, clutching his hand as the weapon he held clattered to the ground. Before anyone could react, another thwack, and the second attacker yelped, stumbling back as if struck by an invisible force. The third man, confused and startled, spun around, trying to locate the source of the attack. That's when he saw her. Standing at the entrance of the alley, bathed in the glow of a distant streetlight, was a young girl. She couldn't have been more than 12. In her hands, she held a simple, worn-out baseball. Maya wasn't your average kid. While other children were inside playing video games, Maya was out practicing. Day in, day out, she'd be at the local park, throwing her baseball against a brick wall, perfecting her aim, her speed, her spin. The repetitive thud of the ball was the soundtrack to her life. It was her escape, her passion, her one true skill. She dreamed of being a professional pitcher, of standing on the mound under the bright stadium lights. But for now, her stadium was this decaying neighborhood, and her big game was happening right here, in this dark, dangerous alley. She had been on her way home, cutting through the alley as she always did, when she stumbled upon the terrifying scene. Fear gripped her for a second, telling her to run, to hide, to pretend she saw nothing. But then she saw the desperation in Mr. Finch's eyes, and another instinct took over. It was the instinct of a protector, the instinct of a hero. With a focus she usually reserved for the strike zone, Maya wound up. Her motion was fluid, a dance of precision and power she had practiced thousands of times. She released the ball, and it flew like a guided missile, hitting the third attacker squarely in the shoulder, sending him staggering into a pile of trash cans with a loud crash. The first two men, still reeling from the initial shock, turned their attention to this new, pine-sized threat. They sneered, thinking a little girl with a ball was no match for them. They were wrong. As they charged toward her, Maya was already in motion. She scooped up a loose brick from the ground without breaking her stride. It was heavier than her ball, but the mechanics were the same. With a powerful grunt, she hurled it. It didn't fly as true as her baseball, but it didn't need to. It tumbled end over end, crashing into the leg of the lead attacker, who went down with a howl of pain. Seeing his accomplice fall, the last man standing hesitated. This was not going as planned. He looked from his downed friends to the determined girl who was now calmly picking up her baseball again, her eyes narrowed with an intensity that sent a chill down his spine. In that moment, he didn't see a child. He saw a formidable opponent he wanted no part of. He made the smart choice, turned and fled, disappearing into the labyrinthine city streets, leaving his two groaning partners behind. Silence descended upon the alley once more, broken only by the whimpers of the injured men and the sound of distant sirens growing closer. Someone must have heard the commotion and called the police. Mr. Finch stood frozen, his mind struggling to process what had just happened. He had been seconds from a grim fate, saved not by police or bodyguards, but by a young girl with an incredible arm. He watched as she walked over, her expression softening from fierce concentration to concern. She looked at him, then at the two men on the ground, and simply asked, "Are you okay, mister?" Her voice was quiet, almost shy, a stark contrast to the ferocity she had just displayed. Alistair Finch, a man who commanded boardrooms and negotiated billion-dollar deals, found himself speechless. He could only nod, his eyes wide with a mixture of shock, relief, and overwhelming gratitude. The police arrived moments later, taking the would-be robbers into custody and an ambulance tended to their injuries. Mr. Finch gave his statement, his voice still shaky as he recounted the events, making sure to emphasize the bravery of his young rescuer. When the chaos subsided, Mr. Finch turned to Maya, who was standing quietly to the side, looking a little overwhelmed by all the flashing lights and official uniforms. He knelt down to her level, his expensive suit now scuffed and dirty. "I don't know how to thank you," he said, his voice filled with genuine emotion. "You saved my life. What's your name?" "Maya," she replied softly. "Well, Maya," he continued, a warm smile spreading across his face. "You have a gift, an incredible gift. That arm of yours. It's something special." He learned about her dream of playing professional baseball, about the countless hours she spent practicing alone, fueled by nothing but passion and determination. He saw the worn-out state of her glove and the scuffs on her only baseball. An idea began to form in his mind, a way to repay her that went far beyond a simple monetary reward. The next day, a sleek black car pulled up in front of Maya's modest apartment building, a sight that caused quite a stir in the neighborhood. A chauffeur stepped out and delivered a large, elegantly wrapped box and a letter addressed to her. With trembling hands, Maya opened the box. Inside was a complete set of brand-new, top-of-line baseball gear, professional-grade glove, a set of new baseballs, cleats, a uniform, and a state-of-the-art training bat. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Then she read the letter. It was from Mr. Finch. He thanked her again for her courage, and then offered her something that made her heart stop. He had enrolled her in the most prestigious youth baseball academy in the country, all expenses paid. Not only that, he had arranged for a private coach, a former major league pitcher, to work with her one-on-one. The letter ended with a personal note. "Maya," it read, "bravery and talent like yours deserve a chance to shine on the biggest stage. You saved my life in that alley, and now I want to help you achieve your dream. The world needs more heroes like you. Go show them what you've got." Tears of joy streamed down Maya's face as she clutched the letter to her chest. It was more than she could have ever imagined. Her life had changed in an instant, all because she chose to act. To use her unique skill, not for fame or glory, but to help someone in need. A few weeks later, Maya stood on a pristine baseball field, the green of the grass so vibrant it almost hurt her eyes. Her new coach stood beside her, offering words of encouragement. Across the field, watching from the stands, with a proud smile, was Mr. Finch. Maya took a deep breath, the familiar weight of the baseball in her hand a comforting presence. She looked at the catcher's mitt, her target. She wound up, her body a perfect coil of potential energy. And then, with a flick of her wrist, she unleashed the ball. It flew through the air, a white streak against the blue sky, and landed perfectly in the catcher's glove with a satisfying pop. It was a perfect strike. In that moment, Maya knew that her journey was just beginning. From a dark alley to a sun-drenched field, her life had taken an extraordinary turn. She was no longer just a girl with a good arm. She was a pitcher with a future, a hero with a story, a living testament to the fact that sometimes the most unexpected people can change our lives in the most incredible ways. And it all started with a single act of courage, a single perfect throw. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content.